In this video I will cover annotations, so let's start. Annotations in Java is a tag that represents the metadata. So annotations in Java are used to provide additional information, so it is an alternative option for XML and Java marker interfaces. Many APIs require a fair amount of boilerplate code. For example, in order to write JAX-RPC's web service, you must provide a paired interface and implementation. This boilerplate could be generated automatically by tool if the program were decorated with annotations indicating which methods were remotely accessible. Other APIs require site files to be maintained in parallel with programs. For example, Java Beans requires a Beaninfo class to be maintained in parallel with a bean, and Enterprise Java Beans requires a deployment descriptor. It will be more convenient and less error-prone if the information in these site files were maintained as annotations in the program itself. Java annotations are used to provide the metadata for your Java code. So annotations can be used by the compiler to detect errors or suppress warnings. So also software tools can process annotations information to generate code, XML files, and so forth. And some annotations are available to be examined at runtime. So Java provides some annotations, some simple annotations in package Java lang. So they are override annotations. So this indicates that the subclass method is overriding the parent class method. Suppress a warning annotation if so when we use it some we don't want to fix the warning, then we can suppress it with annotation. So in this case, this our method will be just when some developer uses some codes we use this method, we can just get warning like suppress warning, so it was just like pointed as deprecated or unchecked. So in this case we have only two categories, and then if we write another category, it will be ignored. So category deprecated instructs the compiler to suppress warning when we use a deprecated element, and category unchecked instructs the compiler to suppress warning if we use route types in generics. Also, we have deprecated annotation. It informs the user that this method is deprecated and it may be removed in the future versions. So, compiler will give you a warning if your code uses deprecated classes, methods, or files. Also, if you know that the development environments like IDEA, for example, uh, indicates these methods like crossing out, for example. So also we have save for args annotation. So in this case, when we use save for args annotation, when applied to a metadata or constructor asserts that the code does not perform potentially unsafe operations on its vararg parameter. When this annotation type is used, an unchecked warning relating to vararg usage are suppressed. Also, we have functional annotations. Functional interface annotation, it introduced in Java SE8. So in this case, we can just so it is a functional interface, and then uh, this interface can be changed. The instance of these interfaces can be changed with lambda expressions. So, for example, runnable and callable interfaces in mhm, concurrency API are functional interfaces, and their call method or run methods can be uh, can be written as a lambda expression. So in this case, you can just use it as without just declaring the class. You can just create it like here, for example, enable. Well, you can just write it like here, but also JDK says that IDEA says that you can just replace it with lambda. So lambda is an expression like here. So in this case, we need something like this. In this case, it is like the scope. Scope. In this scope, the uh, arguments are listed. So without type, so because type will be just type will be got from here. So in this case, this argument types will be just use it as a default with it will be just indicated as default by the required types of this method. So if you use functional interface annotations, then you can have to just get only abstract method, only one abstract method you can just create here to not confuse Java. Okay, let's continue. Also, we can just declare custom annotations, for example, in this case, class preamble annotations. So in this case, we can just here as a abstract methods, we can just here values as abstract methods. Also, in this case, we can just add default variable of these values. Also, we should use interface with this symbol interface with this symbol. So in this case, this interface is used as annotation. So when we use current revision, for example, here, when you use default values, then you can just skip here this variable, this parameter of the annotation. Also, it can be any types, and then in this case we can also use the any other annotation. So we will just say about it. Also, there has like if we use only one variable here, then it will be like when we use here, we can just skip specifying the name of the variables. So for example, we can just write here like only John Doe if we have only one annotation, one parameter here in this annotation. Also, it will be decided by default here. Also, some annotations are just like without anything, any variables. For example, the write annotation and deprecated annotation are just like without any variables. we can specify here retention. So next annotations I will list use it to the annotations like here for example. Okay, like here. So in this case we can use retention annotation, inherited annotations, and so on. So next one is retention annotation. So in this case, retention policy source means that it refers to the source code discarded during the compilation. It will not be available in the compiler class. Also, retention policy class, which says that it refers, which indicates that this annotation refers to the class file available to Java compiler, but not to JVM. So it's included in the class file. Also, we have runtime annotation refers to the runtime available to Java compiler and JVM. Mm. So in our case, in this example, we use runtime annotation to get access on runtime. Also, we have target annotation. Target annotation takes it specifies the type of declarations to which the annotation can be applied. So it has this type of types, for example, types, files, methods, parameters, constructors, local variables, annotation type, which specifies that we can use it in another types package, type parameters, type uses, modules, and record components. So, for example, here it says that this retention annotation is can be used in another annotations in Java. In the another annotations, only for the another annotations. Also, we have inherited annotation. So inherited annotation means that when we inherit this class, for example, when we just extend the superclass where this annotation applied in child class, so child class gets automatically this annotation. It just inherits automatically. So, for example, if we skip here inherited, then we will get subclass which where my annotation is not applied. But in case when we just create annotation inherited, then all child class of this superclass will get this annotation, will inherit this annotation. So it is inherited by subclasses inheriting that class. So it will automatically inherit it. Okay, repeatable annotation. So introduces in Java uh, 8th version. So indicates that the market annotation can be applied more than once to the same declaration or type used. So in this case, we need two classes. So two classes where the second class provides this list of the values. So in this case, we can just annotate with color annotation several times. For example, class short. Also, documented annotations. So each is a marker interface. So marker interface means that this annotations has no or any variables, any parameters. It's like a marker. So it's like you can check if it is if it is just like apply to to this class or variable or not. So in this case, it's a marker interface that tells the tool that an annotation is to be documented. Annotations are not included in Java documents. The use of documented annotation in the code enables tools like JavaDoc to process it and include the annotation type information in the generated document. So it's all. So thanks for watching.